Alright, so this is my work in progress time-lapse thing for the November challenge of the month from the Draw with Jazz channel. Just a bit of a warning, if you couldn't tell from these first few seconds, it's a bit jumpy. I have a bad habit of moving the canvas just little bits as I work, as well as just how much I had to speed it up in order to not make the video 30 minutes long. But the theme this month was Under the Surface. I think I kind of stretched the meaning of that a little bit, kind of pushed the limits of what that is. I mean, he said we could take it figuratively or literally, so this is a little bit more figuratively, I guess. But the idea is, when you read a book, or as a writer write a book, there's more than just words. So under the surface, there is this other world. There is, so that's what this is supposed to be. It's the characters and the creatures and the world coming out from under the words. If that makes sense. Like I said, it's a little bit pushing it, but I really, really liked the idea and I kind of went with it. Just, even if it, doesn't necessarily fit the theme, technically, I had a lot of fun drawing this. It's not a new concept to me. It's something, I think every reader thinks about it. Having the characters just kind of jump out of the book, having, the land just kind of stretch out from underneath it, and you get absorbed into the words, you go beyond the words, you go under the cover. There's a lot more than just words, is kind of where I was going with it. But, my castle, I spent so much time on this freaking castle, but, all I could think while doing this castle was, if you know the channel Shadowversity, the guy who does that channel is actually Jazz's brother, but he does things about medieval stuff and castles and everything like that, and he's really big on castles, so I was like, I have to make a castle that Shad could be proud of, or at least, that he would consider not a horrendous flop of a castle. And I was drawing like these parts here, and all I could hear was him going, "Matriculations," and I was like, it was bad. I kept laughing to myself. But I think, considering I didn't really use any reference other than what was in my head, that I did a fairly decent job on the castle. I did spend, I think, the entire picture took me 12.5 hours to do, and I think about 4 of those hours was just me working on the castle line art and coloring and shading. Maybe not quite 4 hours. I know it was more than 2 though. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. The kind of story I was coming up with as I was drawing it was, it's these 2 brothers that just want to go exploring and, go about their business, and they keep getting dragged into, all these different things. They end up having to run away from a dragon, and there's the big fluffy creature in the background there. The younger brother ends up getting turned into a wolf because, why not? And it's one of those, circumstances lead you to do things that you wouldn't expect yourself to do, kind of stories that I came up with in my head. But I had some trouble with a few of the poses since I've never really done them before, and making sure that, especially this one here, matched up with the pages of the book, since they're, interacting with it. But I did have a lot of fun. I'm pretty proud of my horse. I did have to find a reference for it just because I don't draw horses very often, but I'm pretty proud with how it turned out. Pretty happy with it. Or as Jez would say, I really like how that turned out. My wolf's pretty good too. You can see my reference pop up there. I'm really happy with my hand too. More like the shading that I managed to get on the hand. I mean, like, I did basically trace my hand, so I can't really... I did want it to be like I was writing a story, because I do write stories sometimes. So it's like little notes and scribbled out words and the little post-it thing sticking here and there. I was bored and ended up drawing a little Gengar at one point and then erased it. I'm trying not to say I like my little fluffy cat creature thing. He was just kind of like an afterthought, honestly. But yeah. It was actually like really relaxing to work on this picture. I think that's when you know you really enjoy it, is when a picture is relaxing. And I had something else to comment on that now. It just went right out of my head. Oh well. I like my boat too. It's kind of a cute boat. There were other things I wanted to talk about, and now I can't remember. I hate when that happens. You know, I would write like a little script or something like that, but I tend to just kind of talk based on what I'm seeing. So writing a script doesn't really work well with that. I guess I could make little bullet points. That might be a good idea. I could start doing that. Probably won't, but I could. Oh. My last video I had said that I was going to be putting up a picture that was taking me far longer, video of a picture that had been taking me far longer than I had wanted it to. This is not that picture nor video. I had thought I had another week before the deadline for the contest, and in order to make your entry valid you have to have some kind of work in progress thing, and I use my YouTube video as my work in progress. So the video for the other project will be next Sunday's video, which is 2 characters from an anime / manga thing called Skip Beat. It's Kyoko and Ren. Ooh, excuse me. And despite the 18 long hours that it took me to finish the picture over the course of like 3 weeks, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out, so can't wait to put that video up for you guys to see. Not that a lot of you see these videos, but for those of you that do see them, I hope you enjoy it. Tried to make it look like the claws were like tearing into the paper. I think I sort of kind of succeeded. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. So, in this picture, I sort of recalled that I have this other tool with a bunch of other brushes that I've never touched. So I played around with that a few times in this. I used it to get the texturing on my tentacles, on the dragon, and on the castle. I managed to get a really cool kind of scale effect on the dragon with the one brush, so I was pretty happy about that. I really like the color I picked for my dragon too. It's this nice like maroon color. If you watched my other videos, you will know that I tend to ramble, and I don't really edit what I say. Because I don't. Because this is me. And I ramble. And that's how I roll. Most of it does have to do with the picture. Sometimes it doesn't. My last video didn't. I think it was my last video. Yeah, it was my last video. My pencil has this weird like gel grip thing, and I was trying to make it look like that, and I sorta kinda succeeded, but not really. I'm really happy with the shading on my hand. It is actually my hand too. But look, I'm working on the castle again. I kept laughing at myself from how much time I was spending on this castle. But I justified it to myself because when I'm zoomed in on the picture so it's, you know, full size, the castle does actually take up a fair amount of space, so it is very visible. So I'm like, you know, it's very visible. I should spend a lot of time in it, so, you know, I'm justified on this. And I really enjoyed it. I don't normally enjoy doing buildings. I normally find buildings very, very annoying and tedious and I said annoying already. But time consuming. And while this was time consuming, I did enjoy it, which is probably just because it's a castle, and I kept hearing Shadowversity in the back of my head going, Matriculations! I think that's how you say it. Matriculations. Matriculations? I don't know. Maybe Jazza will show him this and he can correct me. I doubt that. That would be kind of interesting though. Adding more detail into my stones. I'm very happy. I am very happy when stones end up looking like stones, because I normally have a lot of trouble with stones. Or at least I used to. I guess I don't much anymore, but I used to have a lot of trouble with them. It took me a while to kind of figure out where the light was coming from exactly, where the castle was concerned. Depending on where the human characters were, I kind of changed the lighting just based on what they were doing. So it's like there's actually like technically several sources of light in this picture. But I think I finally managed to get a it's a C word. I don't know. But yeah, it's all coming from the same direction on the castle. Gosh. Me and words don't get along well. You'd think I'd be able to speak my own language. I speak English. English people can't speak English. We don't understand our own language. We don't understand other people's languages either. We can't even understand our own. I'm rambling again. I'm really happy with how these roofs turned out. I was kind of worried about them because I didn't know what to do with them. And then I managed to get this thing going on, and it turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. My little torch lights. I just kind of wanted to make it look like there is a little bit of life in the castle, so it wasn't just this dark looming castle in the background. So put little lights. I had kind of planned to put like a person or two, and I'm like, you wouldn't really be able to see them. I mean, they would have just been like silhouettes, but it still was like, probably just look stupid. So I didn't even bother with it. Playing around with some water brushes that I didn't know existed. I am happy with these mountains. Not as happy as I was with the ones in my picture of Mitch. I think it's the color I used. The ones with Mitch were a little bit more gray, and these are a bit more cream. But I'm really happy with my little waterfall thing. That turned out really nice. And my tentacles. I have legitimately never drawn octopus tentacle things before, so I'm like super happy with how those turned out. And my clouds. I have a lot of trouble with clouds, but I like my clouds. They're not the greatest clouds, but they look like clouds. So, accomplishment. And words in order. Ever since I found Jazz's channel, I feel like I've really begun to push myself and improve. And just, 3 months ago, trying to do a picture like this, I wouldn't have done it. I would have scared myself out of it because, it won't turn out well, it won't look good, I've never done anything like that, I can't do stuff like that. And since finding Jazz's channel and seeing him try new things and challenge himself and joining in these monthly challenges, I kind of made a resolution to myself to just, to stop being scared. And thanks to that, I've managed to make this. So, Jazza, if you've watched to the end, thank you. Until next week.